Your mother's new favorite movie, 28 years later, just dropped. Let's talk about it. What's up, cretins? What's up, creeps? My name is Chris. I am the only person talking horror on the internet. I am here to help you navigate the nonsense as today we discuss 28 years later. Here's your full spoiler-free review. 28 years after the initial rage outbreak, Britain has been quarantined from the rest of the world, with the uninfected further exiling themselves to smaller islands that surround the mainland to avoid infection. A couple of inhabitants head back to the mainland. There's your movie. So before we delve into it, I caught the original 28 Days Later in its original run in theaters. I loved it then, I love it now. I think it's held up very well. As for 28 Weeks Later, I caught that as one of my 5 free weekly rentals while I was working at Blockbuster. I didn't rush out to see it in theaters because I didn't see a need to re-enter this world. I was pleasantly surprised to find that they justified going back to the well. So when original writer Alex Garland and original director Danny Boyle decide that they want to resurrect a long-dead franchise, I'm all in, sign me up. When you announce that you're doing so threefold and the next movie is coming out on January 16th, a mere 30 weeks? How did they fuck that up? A mere 30 weeks later, let me buy my tickets now, I'm down. But what of 28 years later? One of the biggest pieces of praise that I can give to 28 years later falls in its performances, specifically to 14-year-old Alfie Williams. With very little experience, I do feel that he competently stands alongside and at times even outshines his accomplished and established counterparts like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Jodie Comer. Not Ralph Fiennes though. That dude is playing a character that's too close to Chef Julian from The Menu, and I fucking love The Menu. You do too, you know what I'm talking about. I also think that Danny Boyle does a great job with his choices for the look and the feel of 28 years later. I think despite his levels of fame, fortune, and prestige, this film proves that he hasn't lost the ability to make something that has the intimacy and the grit of an independent film. Long short, this feels like 28 Days Later. And maybe that's where the open to the movie doesn't entirely work for me, because it starts on the same day as the original film and it gives us the same chaos of the rage outbreak that we've kind of already seen twice over. Is it bad? No. I just kind of maybe expected something a little more nuanced, right? Original writer, original director, reunited 23 years after because they had to show people running from zombies. Whatever, it's like a 2-minute open. From there we skip forward 28 years and there's a big upswing in both the storytelling and the story to tell, as the child that escaped that outbreak in the cold open now has a coming-of-age child of his own and a wife that isn't well. And I'm with that, right? We see that there's different species of zombies and like, I'm cool on it. We see that the mainland has become, I mean, I maybe could have used a little bit more like I Am Legend level dilapidated Times Square type imagery than just straight countryside, but I'm not mad at it. And then we go back to the small island where everybody's living, and I don't know. There's a lot where I looked at this and I said, these characters have had 3 decades, right? 3 decades to build, to restore, to reestablish on an island where people already lived. Yeah, they may be quarantined and they may be exiled, but the world is aware of what's going on with them, right? We have the capability to airdrop supplies. We've had the capability to do that for like a century. This is civilization 28 months later. Minor quibble? Maybe. A bigger issue arises from our child lead Spike, which again, Alfie Williams' performance of Spike is solid. And I'm not spoiling anything here, but like less than 20 minutes into the movie, his father is teaching him how to defend himself and how to kill the infected. And he has nothing but hesitation and unease. And we as viewers see kid that isn't ready for this. But that's because of the society that we live live in. The society that Spike lives in, killing the infected would be a regular daily occurrence. It's like how I know that I couldn't go and kill an animal, but indigenous tribes absolutely do so on the daily basis, either for food or defense or what have you, because that's the life that they understand, and this is the life that I understand. And I don't feel that this is the life that Spike would understand. He's not even first generation growing with this, right? It was his father's entire life, but for like 6 years. He's watching fucking Teletubbies in the open. Again, if you want to tell me that this is civilization 28 months later, yeah, that's fine. So why isn't this film called 28 Months Later? When there's no returning characters, why isn't this world just occurring 2 1/3 years after the original? Do they think that we couldn't comprehend this movie taking place in 2005? No, because after you've done weeks, there's not much that would have changed during the 21.5 months between weeks and months. You don't make that movie because you don't have enough new to say. Nobody fought for 28 fortnights later because it's too soon and there's not enough to say. And you see where I'm going with this, right? There's not enough progression of the story to justify this as 28 years later. You put this much time between catalyst and result for the world that you built and the story that you're telling, there is an expectation of an evolution. I mean, 28 years ago, it was 1997. You want to know what I was doing in 1997? I was anxiously awaiting the release of I Know What You Did Last Summer, Anaconda, and Jurassic Park. Things change. Now, if you want to claim that the couple of concepts that they introduced, no spoilers, but the incident on the bus, Rafe finds his whole deal, if you want to say that that's a progression of this world, it's not, right? Those are concepts. They don't dig deep enough into them for them to be progression. They're not progression until they are realized. This is dissatisfying because this is not a story. This is a beat to a story. If you want to claim that it's because those things will be further explored in the next movie, no. You want to do something episodic, make a series. This should be able to stand alone as a film, self-contained and functional on its own, and it's not. The one thing that they are building to over the course of 28 years later doesn't feel like it's what they're building to until it's stated as such. And even then, the conflict resolve of that situation is handled with such a rushed nonchalance that it's like, why the fuck even bother? If the characters don't care, how am I supposed to? Also, if you've seen it and you're just sitting here waiting for my comments on the last scene, my instant thought in the theater to that nonsense was, what the fuck is this? Am I watching fucking Twilight? Yeah, tell me I'm wrong. Unsee that next time that you watch it. And hey, I'm sorry to shit in your cereal, but if Alex Garland is half-assing world and character building and Danny Boyle can't pull it off, I absolutely don't trust that the person that made The Marvels and the Candyman reboot is gonna fix it. You have your right to your own opinions, but don't come at me. The new Candyman was lazy and lackluster. You don't have to cower under the "but I'm a Jordan Peele fan" thing either, like I am too. But in case you forgot, he was slated to direct the new Candyman and he left the project after the script was finished. You think he did that because he wanted to afford opportunity, or because he didn't want to sully his own name with a movie that doesn't work? So after all that, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I didn't hate 28 years later. I was frustrated with 28 years later, and I was disappointed with 28 years later. I don't think that it's an entirely disposable film, and I'm not entirely opposed to seeing the entirety of the story realized. I'm happy to live again in this world, and I'm happy that the filmmakers, the studio, and most importantly, the audience decided to not only resurrect what was essentially a franchise that could have been, but to sign on for a 3-film ride into that world. I personally was raging to see this movie, but you may do better to wait and experience it locked up, safe at home. Because 23 years later, we deserved something better. Oh, and one last thing, yeah, there's a lot of zombie dicks in it. Just tons and tons of zombiness. That's why it's your mother's new favorite movie, because she loves looking at dicks. Like, your mom loves zombie dicks. Kindred Spirits, The Walking Dead, 28 Days Later, Survival of the Dead. That's gonna do it for today, creeps. Do all these things. Let me know what you thought of 28 years later right over here. Please be respectful to others and don't spoil anything. I did my best not to. And as always, this is all just a matter of opinion. See it yourself, make your own decisions, remain critical, support horror.